red here too. All right, mate, go for gold.
Okay, in my sec. Okay, the long weekend of Easter in 2015, I decided to go down to Acacia Flat in the Grose Valley. So I hiked in via Govett Sleep and took about 5 hours to get there. And it was raining. It wasn't probably the best time to go there, but I really wanted to get out and I thought I'd get some action while it was raining. So I toughed it out, a lot of mud, a lot of my stuff was wet, but I finally got there and set up my camp and had something to eat and set up some trail cameras. I was going to set sound recorders out, but it was raining and I just didn't want them to, get ruined by the fire, by the rain. Anyway, it got dark pretty early, and then probably about half an hour after it, the sun went down, it was dark. Then I just started hearing all these tree breaks, and then it sounded easy, at least 10 things running around in the bush, bipedal running around, not hopping. There weren't wallabies. These things were making too much noise, and these tree breaks were just constantly breaking. There was hundreds and hundreds of tree breaks, and this just happened all night. Pretty much hardly slept, and I did want to put a sound recorder out, but the rain got heavier and the noise from the rain would have just drowned out any noise of the tree breaks. So it got to really early in the morning. It was about 4 to 4:30 by memory, and I started hearing this weird, crazy howl scream. Like it sounded like it was about 1 kilometre away. Anyway, it seemed to get closer and closer, like every 15 minutes. And every time I heard it get closer, I'm just hoping, I hope it doesn't come near me. It just sounded like it was from some creature that I just didn't want to be near. So eventually, I pretty much was about 5 meters from my tent. And during this time, it took about an hour actually from the first time it made a noise till when it was near my tent. It was pitch black outside because you're right deep in the valley there, in the Grose Valley at Acacia Flat, at the campground there. And from like 7:30 the night till 4:30 in the morning, it was just tree breaks just constantly cracking and things running around all around my tent. I was just looking, you could hear things running around. And then when I heard this thing running, pretty much near my tent, I've kind of looked out and I just seen this massive black silhouette of something that was like, I just estimate 10 foot tall, could have been taller. I don't know what it was, but it let out like a big scream, and then it kind of did like this big step that was like a couple of meters long, and then it just disappeared into the bush. I never heard it or saw it after that, and then all the noise of the tree breaks just went boom, stopped, and that was it. I thought that was really freaky. I did have trail cameras out there where this thing was, but it actually walked behind them. I had them pointing towards the bush, not towards the campsite, so it walked in between the trail cams and my tent. To this day, I don't know what it was. It was just a big black silhouette, and what was running around in the bush, like, I think they were a Yowie creature. I don't know if they were Junjuddies, or they didn't sound like they were big creatures. They were just really agile and running around and just cracking branches everywhere. I did have a look around the next morning, even though it was still raining, and I found a few tree breaks, but I had to get out quickly because it rained that much. I thought I wasn't going to be able to get out because I had to cross the creek a few times. So I quickly started packing my gear, and a camper that came in after I first got there in the previous morning, he kind of passed me as I was just about to finish packing up, and he said, "Did you hear those noises last night?" I said, "What did you hear?" And he said, "Oh, there was all like bits and parts of trees getting broken, and then I heard a weird loud scream," and he sounded pretty freaked out. So yeah, he took off, and then it didn't take much longer for me after that to get out of there myself, and it was hard slog in the rain, and it took up to about 6 hours to get out. I have been there again since, but I didn't have the same amount of action happen or anything happen at all. It was just one of those days that you go out and it seems to, you're right in the middle of all the action, and I just wish I was able to get some sound recordings, but the rain just didn't allow me to get it. So I've been down there, like I said, since nothing happened, but I might go down there again one day, and hopefully, they're there again, and with the gear I got now, I might be able to get, a bit more evidence of them. But that was one freaky time. I didn't want to get out of my tent when it was all happening, even though I could stand up. I did have a cover above my tent, so I wasn't going to get wet. But no, I was a bit freaked out, so I stayed in my tent, and I didn't even turn a torch or anything on. So yeah, that was I'll never forget that night.
Mate, would you mind just starting from the beginning again? Not all the way, just until the point, because I walked over here and I'm not sure if I actually walked in front of the camera. If you wouldn't mind doing that, that'd be great.
How much do you want?
I'll just keep going, I'll tell you.
All right. Okay, in the Easter of 2015, I decided to research the Acacia Flat down in the Grose Valley in the Blue Mountains. It took me about 5 hours to hike in, and it was raining. It probably wasn't the best time to go, but my opinion, they Yowies are out while it's raining, or it has been raining. So I ventured in, and I finally arrived at the Acacia Flat after about 5 hours of hiking, and started to set up my tent pretty quickly in the rain.
That'll do. That's good. Okay, mate. Thank you.
No worries.
Alright, check this one.
Yeah, that was a freaky one.
I'll have to go and
parrots.